come back. Your dreams were your ticket.
Canelo Alvarez considering Billy Joe Saunders and Caleb Smith for his next fight. What up, sports world? ItsJustBoxing here. Canelo Alvarez will reportedly move back down to 168 pounds for his next fight, and he's considering champions Billy Joe Saunders and Caleb Smith as potential foes. This would be a move for Canelo to show boxing world that he wants to be taken seriously as a world champion at super middleweight. Canelo won the WBA regular super middleweight title in beating champion Rocky Fielding in the third round TKO last December. Fans don't recognize Canelo as a champion at 168 pounds because he hasn't beaten anyone to become a full-fledged champion as of yet. Canelo trainer Eddie Reynoso mentioned John Ryder name and recently discussing the option for his next fight. Ryder's loss was last fight to Caleb, but he was viewed as the true winner. It would be a good move on Canelo's part to ignore Caleb and face Ryder. No, it's not. The timing of Canelo facing Billy Joe Saunders, who has a record of 29 wins and 0 losses with 14 knockouts, or the WBA Caleb Smith, who has a record of 27 wins and 19 knockouts, is a bad move. Both Caleb and Saunders are coming off a bad performance in defending their world titles. Caleb defeated his WBA mandatory John Ryder by a controversial 12-round unanimous decision on November 23rd, and boxing fans think he should have lost that fight. If Canelo selects Caleb, fans will assume he's doing it because the 6'3" Liverpool native looked so bad against Ryder before that fight, and Canelo never showed the slightest amount of interest in facing Smith before. As of Saunders, he recently struggled to defend French contender Marcelo Esteban Caceres on November 9th in Los Angeles, California. Saunders topped Caceres in the 11th round, but appeared to be losing the fight. He isn't considered as an elite super middleweight. This wasn't a fight that was hidden away in UK. The Saunders fight took place in Los Angeles and was shown on DAZN. Plenty of Americans saw the bout, and no doubt they weren't impressed by Saunders' performance. If Canelo picks Saunders off the back of that fight, it's going to further the belief that he's just an opportunist. A lot of boxing fans already see Canelo as a cherry picker for his fights against these fighters such as Rocky Fielding, Sergey Kovalev, Julio Cesar Chavez, and Liam Smith. So Canelo will receive more credit from fans if he takes on Caleb than he will Saunders, but it's still not a great fight. The way Caleb looked at the weigh-in for his last defense against Ryder, he needs to move up to 175. Caleb looks dead at the weight of at 168 pounds, and he can't continue to drain down too much longer. Smith is essentially a light heavyweight who loses water weight to make weight to compete at 168 pounds. Caleb did well to make weight for his division for the last 7 years, but he needs to move up to 175. You can't understand why Caleb is dragging his feet in making this move because he'll be food for the Lions at 175. Guys like Arthur Benavidez, Demetrius Bivol, Alexander Gosvick, and Gilbert Ramirez would be too much for Caleb Smith. In his last fights against Ryder, Caleb looked emaciated at the weigh-in, and he looked weak during the fight. That should have been a fight that Caleb ended within 3 rounds if he was at full strength, but he ended up struggling. Depending on how much weight drain Caleb is, Canelo should win this fight with ease. Unlike Ryder, Caleb has the power to knock out Canelo has the power to knock out Caleb. So the judges won't play a factor in the outcome. There's no chance that Canelo will agree to fight Caleb in Anfield in the UK. Matchroom boxing promoter Eddie Hearn and Caleb's trainer Joe Gallagher are both hoping Canelo will come over there to fight him. That's a pipe dream. Canelo will fight Caleb in Las Vegas, Nevada, or not at all. I would be up to Caleb to either agree to fight Canelo in Vegas or not get the fight. But last November, the 29-year-old Canelo moved up to 175 pounds to beat WBO light heavyweight champion Sergey Kovalev. The win for Canelo gave him his 4th division world title, but it didn't do much for his credibility. Canelo was facing the lowest hanging fruit on the vine, and the 36-year-old Kovalev, who was coming off of a hard, tough fight against Anthony Yarde, who had barely won his last fight. So there's still no word yet whether Canelo will hold on to his WBO 175-pound title or will he vacate. It was always believed that Canelo had no intentions on staying at 175 and risked his high against the talented fighters Arthur Benavidez and Demetrius Bivol. Now, with the news of Canelo moving back down to 168 to fight Saunders or Calum, this makes it academically that he won't stay around 175 to risk losing to those talented champions. In my opinion, he needs to fight Caleb Plant or he needs to fight David Benavidez. I don't want to hear anything about fighting no Billy Joe Saunders. I don't want to hear anything about fighting Caleb Smith. All the true boxing fans know good and well that Canelo would beat both Billy Joe Saunders and Caleb Smith. But he will struggle against Caleb Plant and David Benavidez or Anthony Durrell. Those three fights I would love to see, but we already know Canelo would not fight none of those guys at 168, just like he's not fighting the top guys at 160, just like he didn't fight the top guys at 154, and just like he didn't fight the top guys at 175 pounds. So this is just who Canelo is. He's an opportunist. He fight guys that's coming off of tough losses. And if they're not, if they didn't lose the fight, they're coming off a hard, tough 11 to 12 round fight, and those are type of opponents that he's choosing to face at this point in time in his career. This is just who Canelo Alvarez has always been. He even fought an old Floyd Mayweather. People forget that Floyd Mayweather was 37 years old. He was past his prime at that time. He fought a past his prime and Miguel Cotto. I mean, that's just who he is. I mean, he is not going to fight the young, the guys that are around his same age. He's not going to fight the likes of Jamal Charlo. He's not going to fight the likes of Demetrius Andrade. He's not going to fight Caleb Plant. He's not going to fight David Benavidez. He's not going to fight Jamel Charlo, J-Rock Williams. He's not going to fight those type of guys. He's not going to fight Arthur Benavidez. He's definitely not going to fight those guys. I mean, so this is who Canelo is at this point in his career. It's sad and it's pathetic that he's choosing to go this type of route in his, in the next phase of his boxing career. But it is what it is. This is It's Just Boxing. Don't forget to subscribe, smash the like button, smash that bell icon to get notifications of all new videos that come your way. It's Just Boxing, and I'm out. Peace.